read on the news, the AI systems do is pretty low, like a 5 to 10%, and that's the kind of assessments that actual human beings, actual mathematicians do pretty well. So, or I don't know what's considered a good score. Maybe 50% for a serious contestant is a good score. Maybe I don't know. Again, it's not something that I've ever been super interested in, so I've never done it. Wait, why was this set up? If it was marked as done, okay, I'm confused. But so those serious tasks of academic ability, yeah, generative AI is still pretty far away. So if it's the question of who's the better physicist, ChatGPT or me, I'm pretty sure the answer is me. Uh, I mean, I, I do not believe AGI is possible. I simply do not believe artificial general intelligence is something that the way people think of it, like data in Star Trek, I don't think that's an achievable goal. So, like someone asked me, do you think we'll have true general artificial intelligence? My answer is no, I'm not a believer. Even as enthusiastic as I am with the ChatGPT. So, so with that background, if someone asked me, will ChatGPT ever be a better physicist than me? No, not until I'm like 80 years old and I'm on the having an onset of Alzheimer's. Until then, no, I don't think a ChatGPT will be better than me in terms of being an actual physicist and actually reasoning through physics problems. But the kind of the setup that's multiple choice, it's not it's not testing you to see if you are a good physicist. It's more for your own practice. Did you retain some of the things we try to teach you in this class? And it's really testing you for that surface level knowledge. So on a kind of not spurious, on a very superficial test of knowledge like this multiple choice test, yeah, I believe at some point the ChatGPT will be better than me. Because, it's already better typist than me. It's faster than me on, things like typing. So it doesn't, I'm capable of believing that ChatGPT will be better at assessments like this in terms of time and accuracy than me in very short amount of time. If not now, next year. So that's what I'm really testing for when I'm competing with the ChatGPT on these things. We will see how today goes. Again, I keep doing this friendly competition in the full expectation that I'll lose at some point. So with that, I think I'm all set up to start. Now, I do want to make sure I give this disclaimer, this warning with as little hint of joking or unseriousness as possible. Because, when I talk about AGI, that's not physics. I'm just chit-chatting. But here I'm serious. The rule for this timed assessment is say no outside help. If you are getting outside help during the timed assessment, you have violated honor code. You have violated the assessment rule, and honor code also says something about this. You have violated it. If you've done it, frankly, I don't want to know, because it's the kind of thing where once I've made aware that you violated honor code, then I have to act, and I'd rather not. So please don't do what I'm gonna do. I'm not doing this as a demonstration of any kind that students should be doing. And I've mentioned that there are ways to use the ChatGPT in an academically honest way, and that way is to study between attempts. So, you attempt it once. Let's say you get 5 out of 10. That's actually pretty decent. Many of my B students will probably get 5 out of 10. But, you want to do better. So you want to study before you attempt the next time. Then in that setting, please use ChatGPT to figure out what the correct answers are, why they are correct, so that as you take it again, you are better prepared for the next attempt. That's how you should use it. Not in the way I'll be using it for the next 4 minutes or so. So anyways, let me cheat my way through this first attempt. I'll give ChatGPT the best chance at beating me on time and accuracy, and then I'll do this again without cheating. Oh, I gotta have a clock in front of me so that I can keep track of time more easily. Oh, wait. And I need to give ChatGPT my preparatory prompt. so that so that I'll be as efficient as possible in my cheating. Hi, I'm back to practice on rigid body rotation multiple choice questions in my university physics class. Can you please help me by giving me the correct answer as quickly as possible? Maybe followed by a brief explanation why. Thank you. And it'll acknowledge, and depending on if the chain of thought thing pops up, it'll either acknowledge that, this person is probably cheat. Oh, it didn't pop up. All right. All right, let me get started. And in the past, I think I've been able to lower the time down to like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So we'll see how that goes. Ooh, it's kind of in the way, but I think it'll be fine. Wait, what? Why is it not pasting? Um, Let me try this again. What am I using? Wait, O1 model is it's O3. All right, O1 model is gone. Mm, but um, that change must have happened like just now, today, because I was working with O1. I want to keep it in the same model for consistency's sake, but it's fine. I'll deal with it. Um, so I'll use O3 for this session. I may have to change the title for the YouTube video that I'll post later. Uh, okay. I think ChatGPT won't be me on time on this one because it's taking me too long to deal with this stuff. That model confusion threw me off. Man. And by the way, for what I'm doing looks confusing. Yeah, it's ought to be confusing because I'm cheating. Cheating is not good for any kind of learning. So I think in my head I'm keeping track of what's where, but uh, it wouldn't surprise me if at some point I confuse myself because I'm trying to keep like three different things um, in my head, and as good with the multitasking as I am, I might make mistakes. Bicycle spin a slower angular moment. This is faster, yeah. Okay. I think I already copied the 6 on. Ooh, yes. Why is that image so big? It two main blades must spin. Let's keep going. This is another big image. I think I can copy everything into one screenshot. This session refers to change in orientation. Alright. Get everything into buffer. Oh, is it taking? Oh, let me just start to put the next thing in buffer. I don't know what the hang up is. Right now it's just taking a lot longer than it was on the previous questions. Okay. With the increasing angle, oh, that might be right. Is it that the first time it's gotten that right? Maybe. I don't remember semester how well ChatGPT did. There were I remember some rotations that where it didn't do so well. Could have been this set, but maybe with the O3. I mean, well, that was a 4.0, so O1 might have done well also. Um, what does my time look like? 5 minutes. So I'm definitely gonna beat it on time. I think is when I do this is really fast with no explanation. I'm pretty sure I can do it in like 6 minutes. So I'll definitely beat it on time. And these questions, me being the person who wrote it, I kind of know what the correct answer is by memory. I don't have to work things out. So if I get these same questions again, I have an unfair advantage in having. Oh, fully will remain stationary. Oh, I wasn't reading the question, so I don't know if that's correct or not. I still have to read the question to know if it is. I wasn't thinking. I was just thinking about why is it taking so long. I was cheating, I was thinking like a cheater. Enough kinetic energy to be arbitrarily. That I think is right. Gravitational acceleration. Oh, is it? Yeah, incorrect. All right. I think that's all the questions. 6 minutes. All right. 90%. Wow. Yeah, that looks good. Let's just make sure the one question you missed isn't an operator error. That's happened in the past where I mixed up the questions and answers. Uh, I thought maybe it was this question that it was wrong in. Because, yeah, uniform thin rod, I would have, let's see, would I have rolled this out? Let's look at question one, its reasoning process. Because there's a good chance that was the wrong answer. Um, the center of mass falls a distance L over 2. Okay. Here, freehand. Okay. So that's the correct equation to set up. I pivot, yeah. But I think it went too fast. So let's just double check its uh, remainder of the math. So with the omega, that's probably right. The part that I'm questioning is v, because actually maybe v is right. I think that's actually right. Let me just make sure the omega is correct. Then I think because v should be just omega times L. Then I think that's right. Yeah, yeah. So let me just make sure its omega is right. Uh, so we have mg L over 2 is equal to 1/2 1/3 ml squared omega squared. Yeah. So I think okay, question one is right. And so V would have been just omega times L, and that will give you 3GL. All right. I was misremembering what the tricks were. Um, so question two, which of the following objects have largest rotational kinetic energy? Same, yeah. So it's basically asking for which has the largest rotational inertia, and yeah, that should be right. Just mr squared. All the other ones have the numerical factor that's less than one in front. Wait, that was question two. Question three, Newton's three laws, which are the correctly attribute phenomenal rotation. Oh, that's wrong. It should be Newton's second law. Yeah, they're analogous. because phenomenon of rotational motion. Well, what causes angular acceleration? So it should be a constant net. Well, not this. This angular velocity of an object is a wait. No. Sorry. I think it's just asking which of these statements are correct. This statement is incorrect. And this portion is correct, but that's not third law, that's second law. And this is not the first law. So yeah, that is actually correct. All right. It's possible that I would have missed more questions than ChatGPT. I'll be properly warned when I actually start my attempt, so I don't make an easy mistake. It'll be really embarrassing if I lose because I was too overconfident. Okay, precession stuff. Yeah, what's the question? Choose the statement below which correctly describes. Okay. Yeah, I thought this was correct. Yeah, this is actually a very counterintuitive phenomenon. I have video demos. I actually have this bicycle wheel in classroom. If you want to see it during lab, just let me know. I'll bring it up. Yeah, that's correct. What did I miss? Getting all those tough questions right. Right. Why? Yeah, I thought this was right. Opposite direction, so that net torque, the reaction torque on the body balances out. And quadcopters can do more interesting things. Okay, question 6. Precession, yeah, changing. Yeah, I think that's it. External torque. Yeah, that's correct. Question 7, maybe no, question 7, the answer it chose sounded right to me as I was entering it. So why, most correctly, why it falls over. And so all the other choices are wrong. With the increasing angle, normal force actually decreases. And under static friction force increases to balance out the component of gravity that's needed. And there are no additional forces with the increasing angle. Really, the main thing that changes, how does the torque due to gravity change? And right now it's clockwise, decreases, and at some point it becomes counterclockwise. And this is the description that fits best. So it's correct. Maybe missed the question 8. Only the F2. No, it got it right. Remains. Oh, there might be a. Yeah. Missed this. The pulley will slide to the right without rolling. So it has to do with how much force it'll be. So let's see. What did the question say? F1, F2 forces applied tangent. Yeah. F3 if the pulley hold with F2 in what direction will roll. So it's one of these two. Maybe stationary, maybe this. And I think it might be a matter of interpretation. So if you imagine F2 being basically unlimited, it'll increase until something happens. Then this is definitely wrong. If you imagine F2 being relatively small amount of force, or actually, so I said police it's on a rubber surface. Let me ask ChatGPT why it rejected the other choice. So going back to question 8. Yeah. Going back to question 8, shouldn't the correct answer be? And that might be what's programmed in as correct answer. What I will say is that might not actually be correct. Or at least the question should accept both as being correct. Because for this to be correct, you basically have to assume that at some point this force will overcome friction. And if F2 increases without limit, that'll eventually happen. Eventually, this will provide enough upward force to balance out the normal force. So I think it is actually right because rubber surface just gives you unlimited, arbitrarily large friction coefficient. It doesn't give you an arbitrarily large friction force. So, uh, so I think at least under the assumption that F2 is an unlimited amount of force, arbitrarily large, then this will definitely be right. It might still be too tricky. I think to be completely fair to people, I might have to make both, basically either answer be graded as correct. So let me look at ChatGPT's reasoning. If it's convincing enough, I will look into the question and add this as a correct answer. It's not giving. I mean, um, but as F2 increases, uh, it'll decrease the normal force, decreasing the available friction force, and eventually the net force won't be zero. I agree that net torque will be zero. Hmm. I'm pretty sure this is coded in as correct answer, but as it's doing that, let me go in and I think I actually have time to make this change live. So on my second screen, I'm going to that item so that I can bring up that exact question. I need to find it first, and then I'll make the changes so that this is a kind of thing that if a student had brought it up to me, I would consider, and I would probably, if someone makes a good enough argument for that, I'll probably at least add it as one of the possible correct answers. I don't think I would be persuaded away from this being the better answer, but at least enough that all right, it's unfair to grade that as incorrect when it's quite reasonably something that someone could, someone who's competent in physics could say is yeah. So this is 50 seconds. That's long. So with the F2 version. So thought and then what? Uh, is it still thinking? Ah, oh wait, it's still, are you still thinking? Are you done? What's the answer? Um, all right. I don't think I needed to answer. So let me see if so I would need this to be four. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So that'll make that version be basically be more generous in grading. And if I'm applying this newer standard F2, so so this will be correct, but also this my previous correct answer will still be correct. Um, and the other answers won't be correct. And let me just make sure the question I didn't break the question, and um, then with F1 it'll roll to the right. With F3, just getting new version until I get F3 here. So this question comes with the three versions. Sometimes it takes a while. Okay, F3, it'll roll to left. All right, good. And I'll add a note. 18. Added 3 as a possible correct answer for F2. Other people other than me use it too, and so I'm adding a date there so that other instructors, if there, it basically could cause weirdness when someone's done this, like before I made this change, and then instructors looking at it after I made this change. So, all right, I see what you mean. Lowers the friction value and all that. No, Yeah, it doesn't rotate. I can do the physical demo in class. Ask me, I'll show you. Yeah, I don't think a ChatGPT will give me the correct, satisfactory answer, but I can imagine actual thinking human being who thought through this and maybe with some justification thought F2 wouldn't be arbitrarily large and just looked at the rubber surface and thought, hey, enough friction, it should be stationary. And I do think that's a reasonable way someone might think through, and that should be graded as correct. So that means the Chat GPT got 100% by question because it only missed the one. This is the one that it missed. The other questions must have gotten it right. Don't need to check them anymore. Um, so as I do this demo again, I'll just try to beat ChatGPT on time or tied on accuracy. I do think I have a fair chance of beating it on time. I just have to do relatively quick about it. Oh, it's because I accessed it as an instructor that messed up. Um, I have a fair chance of beating it on a time. ChatGPT used with some initial troubles 6.1 minutes. I think I can do that less than that. I just have to be careful because some of the questions are so tricky that if I'm not careful, I can easily make a mistake, as you kind of see me make when I thought some of the questions ChatGPT answered correctly. I thought, oh, that must have been wrong. so, so when I start, I won't talk a lot because explanation actually takes away time and it might actually cause me to make mistakes. I'm gonna be silent for next 5 minutes or so, other than excited utterances, and then I'll try to beat ChatGPT on time. And if I get 100%, that means we tied because that one missing question, the judge says that it should be graded as correct. So, all right. Same gravitational potential energy. Yes. Largest. Okay. It is time on below. This mass to kilogram calculate gradually to the center so that will make it speed up. Is it faster? Oh, but it's the angular momentum that's being conserved. Oh, had this question? This is the answer I remember. Oh, I need to do calculation. Let's see. Might be qualitative still. Perihelion, aphelion, all that stuff. Radius curvature. Oh, yeah. So this is where I have an unfair advantage. I know that's the correct answer. Very unintuitive correct answer. Oh, um, there was a page in yesterday's lab manual about this, by the way. They do move. So F2. So now that I've made a change, this will get graded as correct. So let me select that in the spirit of solidarity. Uh, What's correct? This seems correct, but let me check the rest. No, no, no. Yeah, so that is correct. Fine. Okay, I got enough time to beat ChatGPT on time while spending like 1 or 2 minutes on this. So, so mb squared over r is equal to g times n times m, or divided by r squared. And actually, the mass of the Earth cancels out. This is actually mass of Moon. One factor of r cancels out, and not given three. Oh no, no, I can use ratio of masses. So I think I can do 4e3 times mass of Moon divided by. So I think that gives me correct answer. If I had to do it from scratch, I wouldn't have enough time, but doing it this way, this should give me the correct answer. Oh yeah, between these two, I wouldn't have been able to guess without calculation. So, um, 5 minutes, beat it on time. Let's hope I beat it on accuracy. Yes. Well, no, I didn't beat it on accuracy. I tied it on accuracy. And so ChatGPT spent 6.1 minutes, which means I spent 4.2 minutes. So I beat it on time. So I'm still, better than ChatGPT, but not by much. And only, frankly, probably only because I have some unfair advantage. In that I wrote these questions, so some of the questions that are tricky, I already know what the trick is. But let me just slowly scroll through these questions so that people have a chance to, if we are wondering how did I get it right, hey, ask ChatGPT, they'll probably answer right. So let me slowly scroll through so that you have opportunity to take a screenshot, ask ChatGPT. It'll probably answer right. Again, it's I do think the best use of generative AI for your academic purposes is as a tutor. When you need an explanation and maybe your instructor's being evasive, or you only study at 2 a.m. Then hey, ChatGPT is available. Use it. I think it's a great tool when used in that way. Not so great when you are here. You'll just have to take two screenshots. This for the most of the question, and this for the choices. Um, it, it's not great when you are using it to cut corners, but when you are using it to interact, then it's like no other tool that was around when I was a student. I don't know if I would have used it. I'm more of a kind of learn best from book kind of a person. I prefer, like, I was a terrible student in lecture. I fall asleep all the time. Um, or I think that's the whole thing. But I don't. I like reading better. So and reading in the sense of like someone's put in a lot of time writing some fixed material, and I'm reading it like that kind of reading. So I don't know if I would have used ChatGPT when I was a student, but for those of you who learn better by interacting with others, it has a semblance of intelligence, and it's able to give you correct answers on a lot of questions. Like this one, let's say you didn't understand my calculation method, like why did Andrew do this thing that ended up giving him the correct answer? Then you can ask ChatGPT. Let me bring up ChatGPT here. Go ahead. Oops. Uh, all right. So here, let me ask. Um, so you can ask ChatGPT. Uh, I saw my instructor get the correct answer by multiplying the moon's orbital radius with the ratio of masses, but I don't understand why he did that, and he refuses to explain. Now, this is technically not a question, but ChatGPT is intuitive enough to answer the implied question. It's also more cooperative. It won't be unless you give it an instruction to be a very uncooperative conversation partner. Unless you give it that instruction, it'll see the implied question and and answer your implied question here. Yeah, two-body system and definitely yeah, center of yeah. That's exactly what I must have been thinking. I don't know if I was thinking that, but I remembered enough that oh, ratio of masses will give me that. Yeah, but yeah, center of mass is like using the center of mass would be one way to do it. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good. All right. So think that's a this is longer demo than usual, but I think it's been instructive for me to see how far along ChatGPT has come. That's like so I can well I won't waste our time right now, but you can look at last year's demo, the same paired demo, and I feel like last year's one might be where ChatGPT got 40%. And this one, it basically got 100%. The one where it missed, on further reflection, I actually agree that the choice that the ChatGPT picked that should have been one of the correct choices. So yeah. All right. So and I'm not saying that because I think a ChatGPT is smart. My reasoning is physics based. Again, I don't think a ChatGPT is actually intelligent. I don't believe in artificial general intelligence. Like that's not a thing I believe in. I don't think it's a sentient. It's just a tool, not a human being. Not it's a toaster. It's a smart toaster.